Hey fellas, so I was thinking about what makes a character strong versus what makes a character weak. Like, how do people decide what they put in their tier list? I have a couple ideas, and I think that my analysis is that there are a couple things that come into play. So first of all, you want high damage, of course. Both of these characters have very high damage, but not just that. You want high unbreakable damage, and the problem with characters like Sonya or Spawn is that they have high damage, but you can break immediately. So the only thing the opponent has to do is just not waste their defensive bar on canceling stuff, keep it to break, and then you break. And there's no mind game, there's no armor breaker, which there is for like Cabal, and he has ultra high damage, which is why I think he's like so good too, but we'll talk about it in a second. But essentially in this game, I think your standing one has to be 7 frames, especially if it's short. Cetrion has an 8 frame standing one, but it's very long range, so I guess for Cetrion that's acceptable, but you want 7 frames because a lot of moves in this game are -8, which is barely unsafe, but unsafe for some characters. Like Cassie Cage's 111 is -8, so you can punish it. Jackie can punish it with 1-1. So a 7 frame standing one is good. I think being easily able to jail your pokes is another thing that makes a character good. Not necessarily super strong, but it's just something you want. Like, here she can just gel down 1 to standing 1. She can't do that with down 3, but you can just go into forward 3 anyways. So she can gel you properly. And by the way, she's so strong because she has a 9 frame mid, which is another thing that you really want in a fighting game or in Mortal Kombat. A 9 frame mid, super strong. But she can just not even poke and gel. She can just start all her pressure with forward 3. So a 9 frame mid is important, but going back to gelling, like we have characters like Jax that can't gel his down 1 into standing 1. If you're too fast, the animation of the opponent makes it that you can't gel him properly. I'm thinking about like Melina as well, right? She has a down 3, which has nice spacing, but the problem is you can't go down 3 into standing 1. You have to do down, or not even back 1. You have to like move forward, which I guess is okay, but then it gives more time to your opponent to jump or something else. Whereas when you can just touch and then immediately go into something that's faster, I think that's just better. So anyways, that's that. So having amazing mids, of course, is another thing. Like she has her 9 frame mid, but she also has forward 1, which is 11 frames, which is still fast. It's like the equivalent of Jay's back 3. It's a mid, and it's hit confirmable. That's another thing. You want to be able to hit confirm all your moves. Like if we look at Sub-Zero's back 3-2, so that's a very hard to confirm move. Back 3-2 into Ice Ball, just because back 3-2 is super fast. But if we have someone like, let's switch here, like Joker, look at how much time you have to react to something like this. The Joker has an 8 frame standing 1, which is not good. We want 7 frames, and it's not very long rangey. It's not an auto shimmy because the animation of the second hit is something else. And it's a fake auto shimmy anyways. Fake meaning you can OS block and tech at the same time because the follow-up is 15 frames. So it's slow enough for you to do that. I have a video on that if you're interested, search our channel. But it's highly hit confirmable. Like all his moves are hit confirmable because they're slow enough for you to react. That's strong. That's what you want. Another thing too, Joker can convert off of the air, off of a jump kick. Depending on the range, right? So if you just jump from here, it's not going to be able to convert. You don't reach. But if it's a deeper jump kick, you should be able to convert. So okay, 11 frames, but look at this range. Plus with Joker, something really unique, and the strongest thing about him is just he has super long range and there's no hurt box. Even if you hit his stick, nothing's gonna happen. So what, like even this one, right? Nothing's gonna happen compared to even like Jackie in this case. Like she has to move her whole body forward. She might get sticked right in the face if she fights Joker. So she can't be here when she fights Joker. She has to be here. Another thing that makes a character super strong is obviously the frames, but it's not just about the frames. So you can have a move, for example, that is pretty good on block, -2, but look how much time you have to react to this compared to this. Do you see that how there's a difference between this and this? You see the difference? They're both -2. It just means that it recovers at the same time, meaning the other guy, Joker, can move 2 frames faster than me after he recovers from both of these attacks. But the animation, the amount of frames is different of the entire animation itself than just -2. And I've made a video on that. You can search the channel again. But frames that are super fast like this is unreactable. You can't distinguish, like you can't humanly react to this compared to something like this. just this or this, right? And then you have to face super intense pressure between a mid that's gonna give you like 30% unbreakable, or just getting grabbed. And it's a 50-50 grab because there's a throw in there. Sorry, a forward throw, not just a back throw. So unreactable staggers is really good. We talked about frames. The ability to special cancel your fastest normal. Right, Joker can special cancel this. But if you look at Spawn, for example, Spawn has 1-1-2. After the 2, he can't special cancel anything. So that makes it weaker for him. I would say that Spawn, if Spawn had the ability to special cancel his 1-1-2, it would be like a very strong auto shimmy, because the animation of his standing 1 looks the same as his grab. Although you could say that his standing 1 or Spawn standing 1 is his biggest weakness. But going back to the frames, frames allow you to steal turns. Not about the animation, but the frames. Like the lower the frame are, the more likely you are to abuse pokes like this and throw a poke in someone's face. Like, especially if you have the ability to special cancel your string. Like Jackie can do this. Special cancel, so you have to pause to wait a little bit to see if it's going to happen, and then she might just poke you. And the better her frames are, the faster it's going to be able to recover to hit you. Another thing too is the ability to get pushback on your moves. Like, okay, so we have Joker here. If he completes the string, he has some pushback. Okay, cool. But his frames are too minus to really do something after this string. You have to block because it's -11. But if you do this one here, okay, it's -1. Look at this pushback. So this is just Joker trying to bait you. Never walk forward after Joker does this, because he just wants to do this, right? Boom, and then you get hit. Since -1, he doesn't even need to backdash like that, because it's, like I said, it's -1. Just do this. The weaknesses of these characters is that full screen they struggle a little bit because they don't have good projectiles. Jackie can jump and get to you with her leap, but it's not strong projectiles. Obviously a teleport would help. They don't have teleports. So these two characters, full screen, they struggle. Cetrion has another good aspect. And Joker, we didn't talk about this, but like he can reset neutral for free, depending on the distance. With some strengths, it can be like -3, 2, -1, I think even 0 sometimes. But when he's too close, sometimes his neutral resetter whiffs, which sucks for him. Or it's like -14, so he just has to block. Let's look at Cetrion. What's another real strong character? I know this is going to be a super unpopular opinion, but I think Cetrion is kind of overrated. Yes, she's very strong, but she has her weaknesses, and they are clear. This game is all about risk rewards, and there's no real reason to break away against Cetrion. So what that allows you to do is just abuse wake up options. And that's dangerous for Cetrion, because then she can't pressure you on meaties. Her Oki game sucks, because it would be fine if you wasted your meter on breaking away, but there's no reason to, especially since she just restands you all the time. So her damage is low, which is unfortunate, but the reason why they made it low is because she gets chip damage on so many things on block. Like, and this has been nerfed too, but still, this is for blocking an attack, you lose a lot of health. And she can reset neutral for free, essentially. This has no flawless block gap. Like this one either does not have a flawless block gap, this does not have a flawless block gap. The only gaps are here, and they are also here. But then you have a mix. You can just complete the string like that. Is there a flawless block gap here? Oops, there's a gap. It should have been a wall, so it should be this. Or you can simply like do this with the wall. So she's strong for that. And since she wants to be here anyways, resetting neutral means that, see, if I'm here and I have to block, then I have to face pressure. Well, that's not a good example. Like this one here. There's a full stop. I can't special cancel it. I have to block. I have to face pressure between normals or grabs. And my turn is over. But that's how this game works. When your turn is over, you have to face pressure. But not Cetrion. Cetrion, her turn is over. She hit confirms. And then she's like, alright, my turn's not over now. And I'm where I want to be. And I can wall if you're trying to come in. I can do this if you try to backdash. She can touch you from almost everywhere. Like, I would even say her weaknesses, it depends on the way the match is going, but she can have a hard time zoning. I know people are going to be like, you're crazy, she's the best zoner in the game, but hear me out. If someone has a fast projectile, has the advantage, you're not even going to be able to get a boulder out. Like, this would not be ideal against... The only way where you're at an advantage is if you get your first boulder on him, and then you're like, alright, now it's my turn. And then you can keep going because this frame traps full screen. But if Cabal gets a projectile on me, I can't do that anymore. He can just keep throwing projectiles. I won't have time to get this out. Maybe I'll have time to get this out. But, I mean, it's still slow, 22 frames. And while she does it, if a projectile comes at her, it might hit her. Something like that, right? Right in the middle, and then he doesn't get knocked down. So if I'm like this, like how... This is going to be very difficult for you to set up. Especially, you see what the problem is? Oh no, of course you can just teleport out of there, which is another huge strength for Cetrion. She can just teleport, right? So you're here, and then you try to zone, and you're like, alright, I can't zone, here we go, boom. But her teleport is not like Raiden's, it's slow. 38 frames of startup and 37 of recovery. Can be punished by standing 1, so there's that. Fundamentally, I think Cetrion is just strong because her buttons are so long range. Like, this is slow, 8 frames, but this is so good. And everything is hit confirmable. But her damage is low. Okay, now let's talk about this broken dude. Cabal would just be very strong if he did not have this. He would just be strong, he'd want to play in the neutral right here. And up close he's fine because he's got an auto shimmy, which is fake, by the way. Because the second one is 15 frames, so don't get opened up by it. But, like, look at this, he's plus on a standing 1, and it's so fast. You're not going to react to this, and then you have to face pressure between this and an auto shimmy. So this is very strong. So when he's up close, and if you try to OS duck him, you can just throw this at your face, low frame. Not the fastest, but fast enough to get you if you're trying to OS block him. So fundamentally, like I keep saying, this game is about risk-reward ratios. And the risk-reward when he is doing jump kicks is so incredibly high because, okay, if you... First of all, it's hard to anti-air, but if you do anti-air him, you get a little bit of damage. It's not going to be like 300 damage. And he can break away if he has bar. Maybe you'll get like 150 damage if you anti-air him. If you mess up, you're getting 300 damage or more, like 350, whatever he wants to do to you. So this guy pretty much has everything, right? So he has... First of all, if you complete the string, it's safe. And it's the type of string, it keeps you close enough to just be able to flawless block up 2. And I don't know why like it's so good to flawless block up 2, but like even this one, it keeps you close. There's like a timing where it makes it easier to flawless block up 2. I don't know what it is. It might just be my personal preference with these moves. There's probably not something like you want to take to heart here. I'm just thinking out loud. But anyways, I find that stealing turns by flawless blocking with Cabal is easier after these two strings, this one here and this one here. Although, I guess you could say that with every character. Every character that has a finished string that's close enough can just flawless block up 2. But anyways. So his risk reward ratio is super high, and not only that, but he has mind games when he actually gets you. So, okay, there you go. You have bar to break. Are you going to break? If you do, it's going to be an armor breaker that gives you a lot of damage, and it's going to give you a crushing blow. So then you have to always be like, alright, do I break, do I not break? And then you don't break, alright, do I break now? And then he gets you again. He has all those mind games, and it leads to super high damage. Which, speaking of damage, check this out. Look at this damage. 1 bar, 340. And there was always the threat of the armor breaker in there. Bruh. And he opens you up with a mid that has no hurt box at the end of his stick, and look at the range! This character is so good, I think he's top 4. Now in my opinion, I think it's Joker, Cetrion, Jackie, Cabal. Then probably something like Fujin, Liu Kang or something, or one or the other, but this dude is so goddamn strong. So okay, we talked about the teleport, we talked about auto shimmies, which by the way, you know, the only person that had a real auto shimmy in there is her, let me take a look at her frames, but you have also Cassie, which has probably the best auto shimmy in the game. And that's how I look at what makes a good character or not. Like unreactable frames, unreactable stuff, risk-reward ratios, damage, high damage, unbreakable damage. Like Liu Kang's weakness, in my opinion, I think it's only 2 things. His normals are short range. There's not, no, and this one you can whiff hard. Nothing is long range. But that's because he's a rushed-on character that wants to be right in your face anyways. Getting right in your face can be difficult if you face a Joker or a Cetrion that keeps resetting neutral. But then you can fight back with just projectiles. So that's an advantage. But his problem is that his damage is not high. Unless he gets crushing blows. Look at this, 223 for 2 bars. Like, or I could do this, 1 bar, 227. It's not high compared to these other characters. Like Jackie does everything that Liu Kang does. Except she has no projectiles. She does it better and has more damage. The reason why people say that Liu Kang is so strong, in my opinion, is that so his frames are good. It's also his just everything's on. It's hard to react. Like 1-2 is super hard to react to on stagger, and just back 1 is completely unreactable. So you're close here, you're in range, right? You're in range for grab, so it's always pressure. Like this is reactable. You're not in range for grab at least. You're in range for back 2, back 1 I mean. So it's just his pressure is very difficult to handle. He needs to apply unsafe mind games from here, like that. No, it didn't seem unsafe because she stood, but you can just keep crouched and punish him. But then, after you've conditioned your opponent to respect the potential special cancel, then he recovers so fast in his animation that he can just keep hurting you. Keep hurting you. Anyway, so that's why Liu Kang is strong. Very, like, hard to react stuff. Oh yeah, I missed one thing. So there's the... I mean, I alluded to it, but... Another thing that makes a character super strong is the ability to OS jump kick whatever he has and convert it into full combo. Right, so... if I get this guy to do this... I get a jump kick on you, you're gonna get full combo punish. Same thing with this dude. This one is super easy. It's like it's not hard at all to execute. Cabal at least takes some execution. So to me, carrying means you are able to pick a character up and you can win easily. So for example, Sub-Zero carries. When it comes to Cabal, yeah, his risk reward ratio is strongly in his favor, but Cabal, you need to have good execution with him. So you have to earn it. But this move here, oh my god, this one carries. Shangla, this is super easy to do. And as I say this, I am unable to do it. Come on. There you go, boom, that's it. It's not hard. Anyways, that's another thing that makes characters strong. And this one here is especially strong because it has long-ranging mids. Slow but long-ranging mids, so dominates the neutral. Anyways, guys, those are my thoughts on how I usually evaluate characters. I think that I covered everything. Auto shimmies, standing one that is 7 frames, OS jump kicks, high damage, high unbreakable damage, teleport if you have one. Obviously you want good projectiles as well, but I don't think that is something too significant in this game because the top characters don't have projectiles, or they have projectiles but are slow or terrible. So it's a useful thing to have, not completely necessary. Whoa, it doesn't knock me down? Didn't even know that. Anyways, guys, that's it. Like and subscribe. Peace.